Creative Commons. Congratulations, you can't make Artificer stuff.
On that note, hello and welcome to Exploding Dice Talks. I am CJ, and that is Nexus. Hi, Nexus.
Bye, Nexus.
Oh boy, it's been a busy week for Hasbro, and it's been a busy week for gamers all over.
Congratulations, everyone. Apparently, they've bitten the bullet, and the OGL 1.2 has been shot in the face. D&D or Wizards of the Coast has officially made a statement saying that they are planning on releasing all of the SRD, the system reference document for D&D 5th edition, as a creative license product, specifically Creative Commons 4.0, which is important to note because there are multiple types of Creative Commons, and there are some that would require you to that would still make it illegal to do commercial projects with their product. Conveniently, this is not one of those.
Right. So you can actually, given that you give appropriate accommodations to Wizards of the Coast, you can actually sell your products as long as it doesn't include Artificer.
Yeah, no, I did just go through their system reference document, and this is still the same system reference document they've been doing the entire time for the OGL. It is very important to note that because Artificer was released far later, like almost 5 to 10 years later. I can't remember exactly the exact number, and therefore is not included in the system reference document. That does mean that if you are attempting to make new homebrew materials with Artificer, that is going to be a problem. Keep that in mind, but otherwise, have fun, I suppose.
Yeah. That also said, also the OGL 1.0A is in place. It is untouched. However, it is untouched, meaning uh, it's only a matter of time till they pull this shit again.
The important thing here to note is that they are only not touching the OGL for 5th edition. They will almost certainly still try something when it comes to 1D&D.
Oh yeah.
And that can mean that whatever consensus or whatever goodness gracious, whatever they've given us now could potentially be backtracked depending on what kind of legal chicanery they choose to pull.
Oh yeah, most certainly. There is no doubt in my mind that 1D&D is going to be a more closed off system, much like how 4th edition was. That there's no way that this is not going to be pushed through for 1D&D, and that there's going to be a much more closed garden system for 1D&D.
Because the thing is, they have been pushing this OGL stuff, the changing in how they are licensing everything, for a while now. And to have backed off this easily, and this is easy for a company like
Oh,
Hasbro,
100%.
we have to think about what their actual goals are here. So, one, we know that, well, we have been told that 1D&D is going to be completely backwards compatible.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. Completely backwards and compatible. And we know previous variants of the OGL, including the OGL 1.2, have had stipulations in it, meaning that they could completely take your IP, copy it, and write it off as their own.
Correct.
It's possible that allowing the 5e SRD to go through as it is their way of saying, yes, populate the fields more so we can cherry pick what we like the most and add it to our little game. It's equally possible, though, that their goal is to simply allow more Dungeons and Dragon players to arise. Because all they need to do, really, to stop the vast majority of players from touching 5e is just to change D&D Beyond. It is where the vast majority of D&D players go to access the game. If they remove all of the 5e stuff and or replace it exclusively with one D&D information, then bam, sure, your SRD is untouched, but all that really means is that creators are making one D&D content whether they like it or not.
Yeah, correct. And it is definitely more than possible that that is what they're going to do, and that's where their walled garden really comes into play. At is making it so only official quote unquote stuff, only official quote unquote stuff is going to be available on D&D Beyond. Now that's not going to stop the people from doing it on home brewery and things like that, but even now with third-party creators, third-party DMs will say, "I'll only allow it if it's properly reviewed on D&D Beyond." So that's the thing
I've
now.
played in lots of games, even nowadays, where game masters, dungeon masters, will say that I only allow you to use things that are on D&D Beyond. That's their source of information. I played in one less than a year ago where that was the case, where the game master wasn't even really a fan of homebrew, but would make an exception because it was stuff on D&D Beyond. Because frankly, programming homebrew on D&D Beyond even currently is hell.
Yeah.
It's not very intuitive and it's very tedious. And that's ignoring the fact that you can't even use anyone else's homebrew unless you pay for their subscription. Otherwise, you have to make it yourself.
I also want to point out, and this is kind of leading into the secondary story here that I wanted to talk about. There is definitely not a coincidence that this comes the same day of
We learned that that Hasbro shrinks 15% of their workforce.
yeah. This definitely is not a coincidence. And almost exclusively of Wizards of the Coast employees. So
At the end of the day, you need to remember that this is still a corporate strategy.
yeah,
They want to make Wizards of the Coast more profitable. Bam! They fire a bunch of their employees who have been doing good work possibly for decades.
yeah, we don't know who they got rid of. We don't know anything along those lines. We don't know if it was any of the people that have been negligent in their duties. We don't know if it was Jeremy Crawford. We don't know if it was any of these people. Although I doubt that they would get rid of a public face like Jeremy Crawford without it being very publicly known.
What we do know is that other systems, Pathfinder especially, have become a lot more popular since these OGL discussions have begun. We know that Paizo has recently almost run to the end of 8 months worth of inventory for Pathfinder Second Edition since they announced their Orc deal,
Yeah.
where they were doing that 25% off on their official content stuff after announcing that they'd be working on the Orc license.
Exactly. They sold gangbusters. They almost cleared out warehouses. Like that leading me into another thing that is upcoming. They also are leaning heavily into their orc. They've actually released or are going to be releasing their first rendition of their orc here in the next week, if I remember correctly. That's one I should have gotten ready available before I started talking.
We've said it in the past and we'll say it again. be wary of the moves that they make because they are making corporate moves. They may be listening
Okay,
to,
they'll be released in February.
well, February is less than a week away.
Jim Butler reveals plan for a Universal RPG license. It will be released. God, February's a week away. Less than a week away. Oh my god.
And now we know CJ can't read or remember, so.
Well, I'm also excited for March. We expect the first draft to be released in February. Final iteration, depending on publisher feedback we receive. Finding or establishing the right foundation to protect the ORC, setting some standards agreeable to all publishers, and other elements vital to the long-term health of the ORC. So we'll know more about that here in the next couple of weeks, most likely. According to a Gizmodo article. Which is a interview with Jim Butler, president of Paizo. Speaking of
Do we have
February,
stuff to talk about, or?
Speaking of
Yeah.
February, we're going to be participating in Third Party Con, which I have up on the screen right now, which is February 17th through 20th. One of our live plays, our real plays, are going to be up there, which is a official Pathfinder celebrating official Pathfinder convention celebrating their release of their orc. So I'll have more information as the weeks come along. K is con with a K because TPK.
Yes, very cheesy.
Yes. But I am excited to announce that officially. Probably be the first episode of the Devil's Dance campaign that I have planned. That'll be live streamed here as well, twitch.tv/geekio show. Playtesting will be beginning here in the next 2 weeks for the Black Flag system by Kobold Press. They got me excited because they just sent out a email saying playtesting for Black Flag, and I was excited thinking that I got selected for it. No, I was just saying that it's going to begin here in the next 2 weeks.
If only.
If they do, that will be also put here on twitch.tv/geekio show. No words yet on the one from MCDM.
I'm expecting that one to take another 6 months or so, especially when they want to, especially if they're trying to actually separate themselves somewhat from 5e's system reference document. It'll be interesting. MCDM is one of those, DMs who is very, very in love with 5e.
Yeah.
Like, that was his perfect system. So we'll see just how close or far his new system that he's making will be from it.
Yeah, he doesn't even have anything up on his site for it yet. So he's also doesn't have the power behind him that Cobalt Press
Cobalt Press.
does. Yeah, that's a whole ass company. So, whereas MCDM is a small business. Other than that, I don't believe we have much else to discuss. New expansion content, possible expansion content for Blackbirds has been announced, and it will be up for playtesting in February as well.
We'll be starting a new Sviander campaign on Wednesdays. Looking to start next week, as well as I believe CJ running one for himself on Tuesdays.
Yep. Both those hopefully starting next week. We got you played, or well, you've read the playtesting and have had people play the playtest stuff for Blackbirds in your campaigns, right?
I have one or two people who are playtesting out the Court of Generosity. I've not yet had anyone attempt Thorn damage and whatnot, but beyond that, that's kind of the extent of what we've gotten in the. As far as things go,
or else I would have. Ah, damn it! Oh well.
but that's the extent of what they've released in playtesting so far. They have announced that they're planning on showing out some more playtest material, and they've given the fragments of information for for their next book. So interesting times in the future.
And of course, we have playtesting on Elements of Conflict starting officially this last couple of weeks. You have the Monday game, which we're not streaming, and Saturday game, which we don't stream because I'm not in it, and
whose fault is that?
My family's.
Shame on them.
We haven't done a combat yet in it, but we have developed an interesting monster. Our first official monster that we're going to be original monster for the game. It is terrifyingly horrendous.
Insanely stupid.
Yes, and I love it. I want to have an artist make it. I want to have an artist make it. I don't want to AI bot it.
We'll see about getting stuff like that done once we're done with the actual core content of it all.
I think I want to have my artist friend draw it because his animation style isn't exactly like anime, or his drawing style isn't exactly anime, but I just want to see that stupid beast come to life. But other than that, I think we are about through with our 100 people on this.
We appreciate each and every one of you.
But if you do want to help out with Elements of Conflict, which of course is our Naruto flavored TTRPG from our very own Lily, I want to see his reaction to the monster's description. Yes. Elements of Conflict is, of course, our own Naruto flavored RPG from our very own pro DM GM Nexus. It's powered
I
by
know.
Zaviander, and it's a highly tactical and lethal, fast-paced game where you break down your character to a granular level and make them truly your own, and have them rise through the ranks of the ninja world. The game is currently in playtesting, and we can use every fan creative mind that we can get to make this world not only something that we can be proud of, but the TTRPG world can be proud of as well. Check it out, geek-io.net/EOC. That is our Discord channel.
Honestly, every time you read that out, it just sounds to me like you're reading out the warnings on a fucking medicine bottle. How fast you're reading? This is me.
Side effects may include dysentery. I don't remember all of the injuries from Zviander. There's a lot of them. Missing hands.
Step 1, don't die. Step 2, figure it out.
Right. Anyway, I'd like to do this more and more on Fridays at 4 or 4:30. We haven't figured that out yet. This is more of an unofficial thing as it is right now. I'm gonna maybe try and break out scripts, and not scripts, but at least some show breakdowns for stuff to talk about during the week. On light news weeks, we may not have anything. But yeah, so this Exploding Dice Talks thing is something that I've wanted to do for a while now, which is have a more of a talk show for gaming and less, playing games and things like that. It may not be TTRPGs exactly, maybe card games and stuff like that for me, and whatever Nexus wants to talk about. But I would love to do more of this. So check it and make sure that you put your mortal on the love button at twitch.tv/geekio show and get notified when we go live. Keep your ear out at around 4:30 on Fridays for Exploding Dice Talks. And yeah, we love you all. Be good to one another, and we will see you on maybe tonight, maybe, if Nexus is feeling better. If not, on Monday. Bye, y'all.
Have a nice one. Wait, if we're not streaming on Monday, then how would they see us?
Said if not, then on Monday.
Exactly, but we're not streaming the Monday morning game. And that's the only one that you're in that would be streamed anyhow.
Streaming the Monday. We streamed the Monday morning game.
You just said we weren't, didn't you?
No, I said if we're not streaming tonight, then we're streaming Monday.
No, before that. When we were talking about the playtesting game.
Oh yeah. Bye, everybody.